Welcome to PQR, and here are 8 powerful reasons for pleasant quantum rise. The first one is the model starts off with a single house, the simplest possible iteration to demonstrate the benefits and the possibilities of employing technology in an integrated manner to produce multiple ongoing revenue streams and to eliminate costs. We extend this into a community model with even more community income streams. And this provides a reliable basis based on measurable data for a PQR economy. And that will be used to provide a platform to attract and to provide safety for PQR funding. And that's because PQR offers flows of values to all the parties and benefits to all the parties. And then we bring in the PQR consciousness tools on an individual and a group level. Finally, we have the possibility to create a self-scaling network, especially when it comes to the currency effect. Let's now go into this single house model in more detail. The house is built with special building materials, natural materials called geopolymers. This provides a highly resilient, breathable building environment, and breathability means no mould. It's also crystalline, it has particular electrical properties, but more than that, it's resilient against bad weather events like hurricanes and tornadoes. Also earthquakes, even EMF, EMP and radiation events. It has its own energy supply. More than that, it has surplus energy built in, which provides the first additional income stream. And it employs absolutely state-of-the-art healing technologies, including technologies from the Russian Space Medicine Program designed for home use, highly reliable and proven over decades. And it has fresh food, grown indoors 365 days a year, again reliably like a ticking clock, but more than that, vast varieties, over 40 varieties of fruit and vegetables grown indoors, and again employing some very special growing technologies, boosting the immunity and the productivity, the mineralization and the quality of the food. And the purest quality water, energized water, and using the same technologies, not just coming into the house, but going out. And that means that the water leaving the house is actually purer and cleaner than the water coming in. And through all of these things together, then it means that we minimize waste. What most people don't know is that 30% of the food in the conventional food logistics chain is wasted. All that waste also involves pollution and transport and packaging. So a byproduct is waste minimisation. Let's look now at the community income streams. We're now looking at a commercial sized or industrial sized food grain barn to produce not just the food for the community, but also the surpluses to produce an additional income stream. And if we're going to be providing such excellence in terms of freshness and quality, then why sell it on to retailers who don't necessarily appreciate it? And why not add the maximum extra value by selling it in our own eco shop? And why not add even more value by providing an eco cafe and restaurant? And if we're now familiar with these technologies for health, for building materials, for energy, for food production, etc., then that provides an ideal platform for technology sales, producing yet another revenue stream. And it also means we're in the perfect position to perform seminars, education, training and consulting. And if people are going to visit for all of those many different reasons, then we might as well be offering them B&B as well. Let's go into more detail on the PQR economy. Because every house and every community is a business based on reliable, proven revenue streams, and it's focused on people plus technology, producing products and services. That means it is an economy. And it's an economy geared to producing multiple income streams on an ongoing basis. And all of that can be used to back a community cryptocurrency, which means it's going to be a resource-backed cryptocurrency. Let's look at the PQR funding now. Because everything is a business producing multiple income streams based on proven data, then we're in the ideal position to sell shares in each project. And this will be tokenized ownership. And all that means is that the shares are effectively encrypted and put onto a public ledger on the blockchain, which offers an additional level of security for savers and the investors. So the savers, the investors, get the initial security in the property. Let's look at the flows of added values now. Because we're selling products and services, bringing in pounds, dollars and euros reliably and predictably, then we also have the ability for each house and each community to also be a cryptocurrency and token exchange. And that means that we've got a decentralized network of exchanges also being built at the same time. And all of this being based on proven data and smart contracts, which means that on the one side of the contract we've got the savers, the investors, who start off with the security interest, and on the other side of the contract we have the people who live, build and operate these houses and communities. And all of this means that the investors can move from security, and through a token swap of the smart contracts, then they will end up with the resource-backed cryptocurrency, a share of the profits of each location. And that also means that they have an exit strategy, but more than that, because of our decentralized token exchanges, they can swap straight out into dollars, pounds and euros if they want. It also means that the operators on the other side of the smart contract token and cryptocurrency exchange end up becoming the owners of each property. Those are pretty good benefits. Let's look at some more. First of all, we're looking at resilience. Resilience in depth, hyper-resilience, because each one of these places will be resilient against adverse weather events, EMP, EMF, radiation events, but a lot more than that. What about collapse of the fiat currency system, or collapse of the food logistics chain, or the energy grid? And on the other side of the equation, we've not just got security, but an immense improvement in quality of life in terms of income, safety, security, and above all, an incredible improvement in the quality of food. And the whole thing is based on predictable models, proven data, and stable economics. We have the pure water, a massive reduction in waste as well. And the fact that we can grow 20 or more times food indoors year-round, predictably and reliably, means that actually we're eliminating the 30% wastage associated with the conventional food distribution network, and the pollution, and the warehousing, and all the rest of it. And what that means is that actually we can allow a lot of land to return back to nature, and that's all we need to do to let our planet recover. Let's look at the PQR consciousness tools now. People are not necessarily having a very good quality of life at the moment. Life is full of stress. They're worried about their mortgage payments, they're worried about their food, and with things like the coronavirus, they're worried about whether they'll be able to get hold of basic necessities, or how they're going to pay their rent if they can't work, etc. So this whole model helps people to move from survivability into thrivability. And if people can relax and remove the stress from their lives, then they're in a much better position to use Dr. Andreas Yell's brain command tools to deal with their past traumas, their stress and their programs. And that means then they're in a great position to employ his quantum consciousness tools. And at the same time, we need tools for dealing with the issues of community governance. How do we decide things? What processes do we use to make quick decisions or important decisions that need deep consideration? How do we resolve problems that arise? How do we try and avoid problems arising in the first place? And those are the conscious co-creation tools. And now we have the potential for scalability into a global network. Why? Because all of the information is going to be free and open source. And in fact, we encourage people to modify the model as they need. If they need to change the building materials for where they live, then they can do it. And they can also analyse the costs of the materials on a bit-by-bit basis. So they can work out how to scale a house if they want it twice as big or twice as small. They can convert the costs of wood, for example, and other materials into their local costs. So it becomes a very predictable and flexible model for people as well. And the beauty of it all, it's all going to be released for free. It's all going to be itemised. It's based on proven processes. So we'll be explaining the technologies, the techniques, the costs, the payback periods, everything. And that means there's something for everybody here. And it means that people can move from reliance on the financial system, the fiat money system, the energy grid, the food logistics chain, to self-reliance. And more than that, much, much more, to abundance. And now if we have common currency and we have common technologies and processes, then it becomes the easiest thing in the world for someone in a house or a community in Norway or Sweden, for example, to contact someone else in the network in Spain or Greece or Italy and say, can we buy some of your olives and your olive oil, for example? Let's put the whole model together now into the PQR model flow. We have people who now want to live in this way. They agree the contract and they have agreed to apply the model, including the building materials, the energy, the water supply, the waste, etc. And on a community basis, they're bringing in the community scaling of the food production, the eco-cafe restaurant, the technology sales, the consciousness tools, the healing technologies, the seminars, the training, the consulting, and the bed and breakfast. And on the other side of the contract, we have investors and savers and technology providers who also want to participate, and they also want to agree the contract. So they have dollars, pounds and euros, and they decide to put it in to the contract. So both parties agree the smart contract, the money comes in, and the ownership and the security of the project is tokenized on the blockchain, and the people who put in the money end up with that ownership and that security. And that enables the people living in the houses and the communities to generate the multiple revenue streams in dollars, pounds and euros. They can convert some of them now into the PQR crypto coins, and that's a resource-backed currency. There is now the capacity to do a currency swap, and that means the savers, the investors and the technology providers end up with PQR crypto coins. The ownership is transferred to the PQR members, and the crypto coins can be subsequently exchanged for dollars, pounds and euros through the decentralized network. And that means through having a level playing field of engagement, everyone can move from survivability to thrivability. Thank you very much for watching.